The following is one in a series of informational videos focused on assisting brooder units who are producing or plan to produce dual-purpose birds. A brooder unit, also known as a mother unit, purchases day-old chicks and feed from a hatchery and raises them to 28 to 35 days of age. The chicks have been fully vaccinated by this age, and the brooder unit then sells the birds to smallholder farmers so they may produce eggs and meat for home consumption or sale. A dual-purpose bird is one which produces more eggs and grows faster than the traditional village chicken. Yet the bird's plumage looks the same as the local breeds. Dual-purpose breeds act and behave very similar to local breeds, but they grow much faster and lay 3 to 4 times the amount of eggs. Due to modern selective breeding techniques, these birds are more productive than the local breeds, yet can survive the harsh conditions seen in the rural areas. These types of birds are scavengers by nature and can grow and survive off vegetation, insects and table waste with only a small amount of blended feed. They are very adaptable to hot, humid climates and can elude predators due to their speed and agility. Through the establishment of local brooder units, the day-old chicks are cared for, fed and vaccinated for all diseases for you. The first 10 days of a chick's life are the most difficult to keep them healthy and alive. Most of the problems in raising chicks happens within the first 3 weeks when the chicks are all vulnerable to weather and predators. Instead of buying day-old chicks from a local dealer, you can now purchase birds from a local brooder unit. By purchasing chicks from the brooder unit, you are receiving birds that have been properly brooded, fed and vaccinated and are ready to adapt to your local conditions, and you should experience superior livability for the life of the flock. Our experience is that the birds properly brooded and vaccinated experience as much as 40% improvement in the number of birds lost due to sickness and disease. The decision to invest in dual-purpose birds can be a big investment, and this video is designed to help you protect this investment and to get the maximum performance out of your flock. If you will follow basic management practices in this video, it will increase your chances of success and benefits to your family. Before you go to purchase your birds, make sure you have the proper transportation for them to your house. Whether baskets or boxes, be sure and not to crowd the birds or allow them to pile on top of each other, particularly in hot, humid weather. These dual-purpose breeds are very resilient but cannot survive if they are not given proper airflow during transport. Make 2 trips if needed. Secondly, before purchasing your birds, make sure you have a prepared and proper shelter for the birds to roost in at night. This shelter will provide protection from predators, provide a place to lay their eggs if nests are installed, and protect them from bad weather. Your shelter needs to be waterproof and always has a source of clean, fresh water for the birds. Chickens are creatures of habit and will quickly learn where the shelter is located and will naturally return when called. To get birds quickly trained, we recommend using supplemental feed for the birds inside of the shelter when they arrive. Keep them penned up for a few days before letting them out into the yard. Make sure that there is enough space for all of the birds to comfortably roost, and roost poles or nests should be installed before birds arrive. They will not go to them immediately but will learn. We will talk about egg handling later in the video, but as birds are creatures of habit, once she starts laying eggs in a spot, she will return there each time she lays eggs. So training her to lay in the coop will make it easier for you to collect and account for all the eggs laid. If your birds are going to roam and scavenge with other birds in the community, you can put some type of identification on them to let people know these are yours. This could be as simple as a light paint on the tail feathers or colored ribbon around the leg. to let you be able to quickly identify your birds. If you put ribbon or any type of ring around the leg, be sure and check it as the bird grows to avoid injury. The World Poultry Foundation discourages any type of mutilation to the birds, such as toe or comb removal, just for identification. This is painful to the bird and can sometimes lead to infection and even death. Many farmers decide to keep their birds inside of their residence at night. Although we do not recommend keeping your chicks in your home, we recognize that this is a common practice. If you are keeping your birds inside, take care to keep them confined in an area with access to fresh water. Chickens are generally clean animals but will leave droppings wherever they roam. You want to take steps to prevent coming in contact with any fecal droppings that can carry pathogens that can affect humans, particularly with small children. This can minimize contamination of pathogens that can cause intestinal problems such as diarrhea. Make it a practice to wash hands after handling birds and collecting eggs. Once you let them out to roam and forage, call your birds in the evening and scatter feed again near the shelter. The birds will learn your voice and will come to you. These birds are natural foragers and scavengers and grow very fast just on vegetation and table waste. These birds will respond to supplemental feed and grow even faster. But feed is expensive and can reduce your overall profit. Males can grow to 2 kgs by 14 to 15 weeks, and the female should start laying eggs at around 18 weeks, just on natural foraging and handful of feed each evening. Natural cycle: when a hen's egg production begins to fall. The chicken laying cycle does not follow a straight line, but as a natural cycle where the number of eggs per week increases once they start laying up until around 40 weeks, where it will gradually drop off. We recommend selling the hen around 70 to 75 weeks of age and restock with new ones. If you plan to use supplemental feed, we recommend a blended feed that has the proper amounts of vitamins and minerals from a reputable vendor. If the vegetation and foraging area is limited, we do recommend using a blended feed, but only in small amounts. These types of birds do not need to be fed full feed like a broiler or a commercial layer. We recommend that you keep daily records on your flock. You want to record how many birds you bought, how many have died, how many you have sold, and for what price, the cost of any feed or medications you've used, how many eggs or chickens you've consumed, and how many eggs you get each day. Also record any birds that were given away to friends or family. This way you can account for all the birds. By doing this, you can accurately measure that you are making money. Also, by keeping up with the eggs laid and collected every day, you can tell if your birds are experiencing stress or not feeling well. If the number of eggs start dropping, if so, try feeding additional feed and make sure they have access to clean fresh water. If this does not help, we recommend contacting a local expert, whether an extension officer, agro dealer, or veterinarian. Sometimes a simple treatment will turn the birds around and protect your investment. Once the males have reached market age, consider using some of the money to go and purchase more chickens. If you bought 10 and sold 4 males after eating one, take half of the money and go and buy 5 more. Eventually you will have a flock size of various ages, where you are always selling males producing eggs or selling the spent hens. Once the hens start laying eggs, they will look for a safe, enclosed place to lay. You can provide artificial nests, like crates, clay pots for them. You need to collect eggs every day. Unlike your local breeds, these dual-purpose birds will lay continuously and will not sit on the eggs, and you want to get them in a cool environment as quickly as you can extend the quality of the eggs that you will sell or consume. World Poultry Foundation encourages the consumption of eggs, especially by children and pregnant women. Eggs have been called nature's perfect food. They provide a wide range of nutrients which have been shown to improve children's growth and mental development. Just remember that eggs should be properly cooked and not eaten raw. Once your flock begins laying eggs, we discourage the practice of setting the eggs for incubation, as these hybrid breeds are not developed for regeneration, and the output from these will not perform to your expectations. We highly recommend that you use the eggs and meat for consumption or to sell to generate income. Small flocks of chickens are relatively easy to manage and provide a source of income and protein for your family. Buying 10 to 30 birds can be a big investment, but dual-purpose birds purchased from a brooder unit where they have been properly cared for and reared can yield good returns.